Welcome to Sadie's Kitchen, where you are going to learn how to fall obsessively in love with your kitchen. And we are going to have a great time today. Today, we are going to make something very delicious. We're going to make a creamy dessert called a creme brulee. Creme brulee is a French name for burnt cream, and you use a torch to cook it with. Creme brulee is an elegant ideal for a Valentine's Day treat for your sweetie. The traditional creme brulee, it tastes like a combination of vanilla and caramel, and that's because those are the two dominant flavors in creme brulee. There are hundreds and hundreds of recipes that you can use for creme brulee. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave 50 different ways and a link for you to look up to so that you can learn how to make other creme brulees. But this is the primary one, and then there are other flavors that stem off from it. I love, 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 love chocolate creme brulee. But for the sake of this video, we are going to make a vanilla bean creme brulee mixture. So I'm going to put the torch down because we're going to use it later on, and let's get started. In order to do this recipe, it's very, very simple. For those of you who don't like a lot of ingredients, this is the recipe for you. It's very simple, cannot mess it up. So we're going to get started here. Um, we need eggs, sugar, and vanilla beans. So I have four eggs here. I have 1/4 cup of sugar. This sugar we're going to use later on in the eggs. And then we have vanilla beans here. You really, really want to have good vanilla beans when you're making vanilla bean creme brulee. You can get these at the grocery store. They're a little pricey. You can find them also on Amazon. I ordered these from Amazon, and I buy all of my spices at a spice store called Penzies. There are Penzies all over the nation, so you can order by mail too. Usually you get about three vanilla beans in here, maybe for about $15. But these, I want to show you this one. This one is a pretty big vanilla bean. You don't want them to be dried out. You want them to be moist and soft and pliable because there are literally thousands of beans inside of this pod right here. Put this back in here. For this recipe, we only need 1/2 of vanilla beans. I'm going to show you how to open this. I've already started a mixture with 2 cups of heavy cream, and the vanilla beans are already cooking. So I'll put these aside just for the sake of it so you can see exactly what comes out of the vanilla beans. So we're going to cut this. You can cut this with a really, really small, sharp knife, but one of my tools that I use in the kitchen, I keep a razor in the kitchen just because there are sometimes things that I need to use it for. But you could potentially cut this with that. I'm using a little sharp knife now. And when you cut it down the middle, you're going to open it up, cut really hard. Then you're going to open it down the middle. Take the knife, slant it to the side, and you're going to push down. And what you'll be able to see coming out of there are literally thousands of vanilla beans. These things are expensive, so you don't want to waste them. I'm going to take these beans and put them in my bottle where I have some vanilla poking up right now. So I don't want to lose not one single bean. So I'm going to put these over here. And I don't know if you can see that. You might be able to see it better in this white bowl. But that's only 1/4 of the beans that are in there. And they're just like little specks. They're tiny, tiny, tiny. So we'll put those over there. The next thing I want to share with you, um, one of the common mistakes that people make when they're making chocolate creme brulee, and that's the bowl that they may use. I actually have some out here that I wanted to show you. Like this one is way too big to make creme brulee. You could potentially make it, but it's not going to be appealing in too deep of a bowl or too wide of a bowl. This one may be a little bit too deep, but if you want a large creme brulee that's double sized, maybe this one may be okay. This sort of heart right here is perfect. This one is kind of a maybe a 6 ounce. This recipe calls for 4 6 ounce bowls. So then these two are perfect too. They look like little souffle bowls, but they're really cute. You can find a lot of these at the grocery store around Valentine's Day. We're going to use these hearts today. They're 4 6 ounce souffle bowls. So let's get started here. I'm going to go over to the stove and get the cream that has been cooking with the vanilla bean. Okay. You want to use heavy cream. There's only 2 cups in here, and that vanilla bean, the other half of the vanilla bean that I cut off of that one. This is pretty hot right now, and we're going to take this 1/4 cup of sugar, and we're going to put it with our 4 eggs. One of the things that you also need to do is to make sure that when you're separating, you only need egg yolks. So when you're separating the egg white from the egg yolks, do not get any egg white in here. We only want to use the yolks for the sake of this recipe. I had some very small eggs, and the recipe calls for 4 large egg yolks. So I added an additional egg yolk so I could make sure that I had enough. You really want to mix that sugar in really well with this, um, with the eggs until it kind of comes out like ribbons. You don't have a ribbon yet. So keep going, and I'll keep mixing and I'll keep talking. And I hope you all having a great day. And while you're out there watching me whip this egg yolk, why don't you hit that subscribe button and like this video, please? I really do appreciate you all watching all of my videos out there. It really means a lot to me. This is Valentine's, so I just want to say that I love you for watching me, and I appreciate you very much. Let's see if we got a ribbon here now. Yeah, you want a long stretch of a ribbon like that. That means that sugar is really mixed with that egg, and we do that so that when the egg won't coagulate or it won't curdle when we mix it with this hot milk over here. All right, we're going to slowly mix in this milk with the egg. This is heavy whipping cream. Slowly mix it in, and I'm going to shake this around because if you look in here, I don't know if you can see that, but there are literally, I'll turn it around in just a minute, there are literally thousands of vanilla beans in here, which means this is really going to be good. Put this all in there, make sure we get all of vanilla beans in there. We don't want to miss those. Like I said, they are what makes the vanilla bean brulee. And we'll mix this up really good. When the heavy whipping cream was cooking, the vanilla bean that I cut, it simmered in that whipping cream for about 15 minutes so that all of that goodness could get out of there. We don't need it now, so we're going to pull it out. Now what are we going to do? We are going to strain this vanilla bean custard because we want to make sure that there are that the egg has not curdled in this hot milk. And so when we strain it, we might be able to see little pieces of egg in it. There we go. Perfect. And as you might not be able to see that, but there are little pieces of egg yolk that cooked in that milk. You don't want that. You want your custard to be silky smooth with every single bite. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to decide which one of these bowls we're going to use. So we'll start out with these two clean bowls. We're going to do maybe two red hearts. And if we have enough, which we may do all of these or pick some more. But we'll start off with these two right here. So, wasn't that easy? That was very easy. All you needed was your heavy cream, warm it up on the stove in a pot with your vanilla beans until it gets hot and seeping and simmer. Bring it over, mix your sugar with your egg yolks, marry them into the cream, and then we'll put it in the bowl and get it in the oven. And that's all we have to do. So let's see how many we're going to come up with. This is going to be oh so yummy. Cream. Use them. Okay. Got one there. I think we're going to have enough to do a few more. I'm going to put a little bit more. Make it a little bit over. Do another one of these hearts. You want to keep stirring it. You might not be able to see this, but the vanilla beans keep trying to settle at the bottom. Make a little bit of a mess here, but that's okay. That's what we do in the kitchen. We make messes. That's why they make towels, so we could clean up our messes. Look at that. It looks beautiful. The oven is already on 300 degrees. So I need to show you that there's a very specific way. You just cannot put these in the oven and expect them to cook. So let me show you what we have to do. We need to take a shallow pan, and my little sweet tea kettle has been waiting over here. So you have to cook the creme brulee in basically a water bath. And you want to put a towel in the bottom of a shallow pan to make sure the heat from the pan does not get the creme brulee too hot, because creme brulee has to cook very slowly so it can build its custard consistency. So typically you would put these in the pan first and then put the water around it. But one of the common mistakes people make is when they put the bowls in there and the water, they splash water in the creme brulee. And when you do that, it's ruined. Uh, do not want to get any water in this at all. So we're going to fill it up as far as we can. And then I like to just take my little bowl and sit them off in there. We're going to turn this one around this way at that angle. Be very careful Make sure you don't burn yourself because this water is very, very, very hot. Then we gotta fit one more in there. Turn it around that way. Next step, once you get it in the hot water, you see it steaming, you are going to take, now this is a little noisy, some oil and put on top of it. Don't try to tighten it or it's very loose fit. So we're going to move over to the oven, put it in, let it cook, and then we're going to come back and once we let it cook, we'll take it out and we have to let it cool at room temperature. The other mistake that people make is putting their sugar on top of the creme brulee while it's hot and it's already melted. No need to torch it, so you typically have ruined your creme brulee. Once we torch it, once we let it cool at room temperature, then you have to put it in the refrigerator and let it cool for another hour. And then we'll come back, put the sugar on it, and torch it and make it cracking good.
It is almost Valentine's Day, and I have taken the ramekins of the vanilla bean creme brulee out of the oven, and it's ready. One of the things you want to make sure of is that you don't overcook the creme brulee. You just want it to be a little jiggly when you take it out of the oven because it's going to finish cooking with the heat. So they're ready, and we're ready to talk about them. We're ready to do the last stage of making creme brulee. You want to make absolutely sure that you have a torch, and you don't really have to have a torch. I have a torch. I've had it for several years now. I purchased this one at Williams Sonoma several years ago. It comes with the torch, and it also comes with the little butane container that you can refill it with, and it also comes with a recipe card. You don't necessarily have to buy from Williams Sonoma. If you go on Amazon, there are dozens of these that you can order. They're pretty cheap. If you don't want to buy a torch, turn your oven on the broiler. But what I would say to you is you really want to have one of these in your kitchen because you can also torch steaks and other things with it. Maybe the cream that may be on an egg custard pie. But you want to make absolutely sure if you put this in the oven on a broiler, do not walk away from it. And make sure the oven is hot, that it's on broiler, and that when you put it in there, you watch it. The tendency, the problem maybe with putting it under the broiler is that your custard may start warming up again and get hot and coagulate before you can get the sugar on it caramelized. We're going to caramelize a couple of these just so you can see how to do it. Now, what you want to do, we'll take these two right here. I've already put sugar on top of these so you can see kind of the consistency of the sugar that you want layered on top of it. So we in this bowl, I just have some granulated sugar, and I put I mixed just a tad bit of brown sugar in here with this. Um, that kind of helps it to caramelize better, and it kind of breaks that granulated sugar up a little bit. We're gonna take our heart right here, and I'm gonna put like maybe a heaping teaspoon on top of it, and just kind of roll it around a little bit. Roll it, roll it, roll it. This one is okay, so that's kind of how you want it to be. This ramekin is a little bit smaller, so you won't need as much sugar coating on top of it. I can't wait, I'm so excited. This is gonna be so good. The vanilla bean smells so good. I wish you had smeller tube so you can smell it. Can't mess this up, guys. If you get too much sugar in it, just kind of knock a little bit of it off. Now we have the granulated sugar on top of each one. And now we're going to take, all right, we're going to turn our torch on, push this little button down right here. You want to pull a towel up just so you won't burn your cutting board, or you won't burn your whatever it is, your surface you're working on. So we have a damp towel here. You just kind of go around in circles. It may start bubbling a little bit, it may start smoking, that's okay. You may see a little bit of fire there, that's okay too. You want to see it caramelize and turn brown. And it's bubbling, 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 bubbling. Look at those bubbles. See that? That's what you want it to look like. It's bubbling. We'll put that to the side and we'll try one more. Each time you're going to have to pull this down, push your button, and take off. This is not intimidating. I like a lot of caramelized glaze on top of my creme brulee because I like the crunch. I like the way it feels in my mouth. There you go. Look at that. Perfect. Let's say you don't get enough color on it, like for example on this one right here. If that's not enough glaze right there for you, and which it is, you can put just a little bit of sugar on it and come back and run your torch again. We're going to try one more. Around the sides, just go around. See how my hand's going around in a circle? You don't want to stay in one spot very long. You keep moving. Keep moving, 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 moving. Can't overdo it. The creme brulee is not cooking. We're just cooking sugar, making it bubble up. You can hear it kind of cracking too. So, yes. That's how we do it. That's how we do it with the torch. Now, if I wanted to just put this one in the oven, I could turn it on broil. Watch it, keep my eyes on it. Don't take your eyes off of it. You can do the very same thing. When it starts caramelizing, turn brown a little bit, take them out of the oven. Do not touch because it is extremely hot. That sugar will burn your fingers. You do not want to touch it. So now what we want to do, I told you that I had a little surprise for you. That I had another creme brulee that I wanted to tell you about, and I got a surprise. I shared with you that my favorite creme brulee was chocolate, and we have chocolate here today. Look at this. Chocolate creme brulee. Yes. Lots of chocolate and lots of vanilla bean creme brulee. We're going to try some out right now. Chocolate, which I thought it was very hard to find, and this is the bittersweet chocolate chips that I use. You only will need 1/4 cup, and you won't add vanilla to it like we did the vanilla bean because you really want to taste all of the chocolate. So let's try to taste one of these lovelies. Move these things out of the way so you can see what we have here. Now you can take these and you can garnish them with strawberries. Put a few strawberries on chocolate over here. Or you can use a few raspberries. Whatever you would like to garnish them with. And remember the 50 other recipes that I shared with you that's in the description down at the bottom. Aren't those gorgeous? So let's try to taste one. First of all, before we taste, when you are served creme brulee, this is what you want to hear. You want to hear that crack. Now let's try the vanilla bean first. And I want you to see how creamy that is on the top. It's very, very creamy. I don't know if you can hear the crunch, but that caramelized glaze on the top is oh so good. And then that custard that just melts in your mouth. Let's try chocolate. How about a heart? Same glaze. Dig off in there. Look at that chocolate. Pull that chocolate out. That bittersweet chocolate is so good. Not a whole lot of sugar in these except for the glaze that's on top of it that we torched. There's only about 1/4 cup of sugar in the vanilla bean recipe and about the same in the chocolate. Same recipe. Again, the only difference is the vanilla bean and the chocolate. I hope you will enjoy making this recipe. It's not very difficult. It's just a few ingredients that you're going to need. You can have fun. You don't have to have these heart-shaped ramekins. You can just use plain round ramekins. I want you all to know that I appreciate you watching my videos. I appreciate you subscribing to Sadie's Kitchen. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you on the next video. And I want to say Happy Valentine's Day to you all. And if it's not Valentine's Day when you're watching this, Happy Sweethearts Day. I love you. Bye-bye.